It's hard to believe we've been traveling for 2.5 years. We just passed our 2.5 year mark.
Wow. Time has flown by. We have seen and done so much.
I know, like more than most people do, and an entire lifetime.
I know, it's hard. It's just kind of hard to wrap our head around. So I'm really glad we have all those pictures and video.
Yeah, I know. We put our bucket list on fast forward.
We did.
I used to say we binge watch our bucket list.
We did, and we still haven't checked everything off yet.
All right, so let's talk about the highlights from that time, the things that really stood out and really changed how we see ourselves and the world.
I like this. I think this is going to be a fun video. But before we get started, if you're new to our channel, we're Amelia and JP, and we can help you fast track your move abroad, whether you want to leave the US or if you want to just slow travel. And we've done both.
Yeah, exactly. And we probably do continue to do both.
I think we will.
All right, so let's jump right in. These are the 10 most memorable experiences. Number 10 is the time that we felt most uncomfortable.
Oh,
so these are not all good. These are some of these. Some of the things that change how we see the world and ourselves were a little bit painful, and number 10 falls into that. Phnom Penh, Cambodia.
Yeah. Oh my, I had hardcore culture shock. And we had already been traveling for, had we been traveling for a year?
Year and a half.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this, but we had already been in Siem Reap and we loved it. And then we went to Phnom Penh, and the chaos was just overwhelming for me. It was crazy. We had to fly into the old airport, and the taxi driver took us on this weird route with
in the dark.
Yeah,
it was. We got there when the sun was setting, and he was taking us down these back alleys, and it was getting dark, and it was kind of scary.
It was a little scary, and I was uncomfortable. I really was ready to leave, like the next day. I mean, that's how bad it was, you guys. I woke up the next day and I was still struggling, and we went out and wandered around, and JP was trying to get me to relax a little bit, and he was stressed out too. But
well, that first night though, we went out, we took a tuk-tuk to the grocery store.
You're right.
And it was just such chaos there, because in Siem Reap there wasn't that much traffic, and in Phnom Penh it was just tuk-tuks and cars and motorcycles and scooters, and it was like this nighttime dance. And there were several times and I was like, oh, because I thought we were going to get run into, like run over.
I know it.
And the first thing I noticed, no one stops. The traffic never stops. And the only law is don't hit anything in front of you. That's the only law, because nothing ever stops. People pull up to an intersection, they go right out, and the people dodge them. And it's complete chaos. And we sat down after that on the sofa and said, what in the hell are we doing? And should we just leave tomorrow? Because I was honestly ready to just book a flight and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, that's true. You were struggling, not quite as badly as I was, but he was pretty close, you guys.
Yeah, I just didn't like it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was too much. It was just, especially since we had just come from Siem Reap, which was so wonderful in the same country, but we stuck it out, and after a couple days, we kind of got into the groove, and we went out and filmed some of the really cool sites and had some great food, and we just got kind of used to it.
We did, and I will say, going to the genocide museum, going and experiencing all of that really just made me push all of that discomfort aside, because it gave me such an appreciation for the Cambodian people and everything they've been through, and how wonderful they are after all of that, and how kind and welcoming they are, that it just completely shifted my perspective. So I have to say, considering how stressed out I was in the very beginning and ready to get the heck out of there, I would go back.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying that, but I would go back and experience it again.
Well, and they have a nice new airport now.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It just opened last summer. And so if we go back now, you come into a nice new airport, you drive on a nice new parkway into the nice part of the city. And I think that was a big part of our problem, is that old airport is used by the Air Force, and it's just not in a good part of town.
No.
It was a really rough transition.
It was painful.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
what's
number
next?
9, the country that surprised us the most, Albania.
I was like, which one is it?
It's Albania, of course, where we are right now.
I agree with that. We came here with no expectations at all, other than the fact that we knew we could stay up to a year because we have U.S. passports.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to do the Schengen shuffle. But man, the first day we walked outside, remember we walked over by that funky building with the green.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, this is super cool.
Yeah.
We loved it.
I know.
Immediately.
Yeah, we spent over 6 months here now total over the last 2.5 years. So
Yeah.
this is where we have slow traveled and we've really settled in and liked it. We've made some friends and we've walked the park almost every day if it's not
Yes.
raining, and which it doesn't rain here very much.
Not when we've been here.
Yeah.
Well, and we've seen a lot of the country too, because we went to Skodra, finally went to Kruya, Flora and Saranda.
Yeah, it's not one of those places that's on the top of everyone's list to see, and yet, and it's not. It's nothing fantastic like Paris. There's no
Right.
Eiffel Tower. There's no Roman Colosseum or Forum. It's just, but it is just very livable.
It is. It's very livable. It's not so polished. What did that tour guide say?
He said it's a box of gems that's quickly being polished.
That is a really good way to put it.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely developed a lot since we got here the first time over 2 years ago.
It has.
Yeah, it's on an upward path. There are a lot of Europeans here, tourists too, Germans. We hear German and Spanish and French like all the time.
Yep.
So it's definitely on the map now.
Most definitely.
All right, number 8, when health interfered with our plans.
geez.
That's what they say is like life happens while you're busy making plans. And unfortunately, that happened to us in Kuala Lumpur. We went there to be part of the Nomad Capitalist event where we were speakers, and we got our health screening done while we were there and expected to get the rubber stamp. And instead, we both found out we have issues, like ongoing issues that we're still dealing with. And I'm glad we found out about them, but it definitely put a kink in our plans and changed our travel plans.
It did, but I'm with you. I'm glad we found out. I know some of you out there said that you wouldn't do it because you don't want to know. And I totally respect that, but I'm glad now that we know and we can take better care of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was the right place to do it too. I'm really glad that it worked out so well that the event was in Kuala Lumpur where they do the health screenings. I mean, it was a fantastic experience.
So we've had healthcare in multiple countries now. I guess that reinforces too that you can leave the U.S. and still get really good, affordable healthcare.
Yes,
and we have experience in multiple countries with the healthcare systems, and I got to say, it works so much better outside the U.S. I can get an appointment the same day or the next day. We don't need prescriptions for most of the, any sort of medication, really. The pharmacist can prescribe things, unlike in the U.S. It's just so much better and cheaper. Like I went to the emergency room. I had an allergic reaction. I called the hospital or WhatsApped the hospital, sent them a text, and they said, oh, just go to the emergency room. It was $25 to go for an emergency room visit.
Yeah, it's just so much more efficient too because you can get in to see doctors so quickly.
That was without insurance too. Everybody always says, was that with or without insurance? It was just pay as you go, $25.
Yeah, we didn't have any insurance. Well, you did have insurance cover your injured shoulder.
Yes.
That was on a different
And my
trip.
neck. Yeah,
Yes.
my neck. Insurance did cover some of the expenses like the MRI.
Yes.
But even that, the MRI was only like $300 or something.
Hopefully that gives you all some peace of mind because I know a lot of you out there are really nervous about healthcare outside of the U.S. And we are here to tell you it exists around the world and it's good.
Yeah. So even when we were not posting videos, I've shared these types of stories in our weekly newsletter or semi-weekly-ish newsletter. And it's called the World Aware Newsletter. And I put things like cost and our experience and stuff in there and kind of like more deep dive type stuff. And we also share our travel news. So if you would like to opt into that, it's totally free. So I'll put the link below, but you can go to ameliaandjp.com/newsletter and we'll add you to that list and you can unsubscribe at any time, of course.
Okay.
All right, number 7, a trip that didn't go as planned. Paris, I think. Paris.
Oh, okay.
So,
it's funny that you're asking me, and I'm like, wait, which one? Because it's not like anything's been perfect
I know.
since we traveled.
Well, the Paris one, because Paris is a bucket list destination, and both of us were so excited to go there.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And then, so our trip from Montenegro, our flight from Montenegro to Paris, I was sitting next to like two people who were from The Walking Dead. And
they were, separated.
It was like that movie Outbreak, and I swear they were so sick. I was waiting for blood to come out of their eyes, and they were both husband and wife so sick. Our plane got canceled, so we had to get put on another plane. We weren't able to sit together, and so I was next to these two people who were on death's bed, and I got so sick when we got
Oh, I know.
to Paris.
It
We were
was
there
awful.
for 3 days, I think. On the day 3, I got it, and it lasted what, a week and a half.
A week and a half. I mean, he was down for the count. I
Yeah.
luckily never got sick. Thank goodness.
Yeah, nobody. We didn't have death warmed over sitting
No.
next to you for 2.5 hours.
No, I didn't. But I was with you. But I'm glad I didn't get sick. However, it definitely put a massive kink in our plans because by the time he was better, we were supposed to be leaving.
Yeah.
So luckily, because we did not schedule everything, we just were able to extend our stay.
I know we get messages, and we know people in our travel club who schedule out like a year or two. Like that would kind of stink if you get to a place and you're
Right.
sick, like Paris, for the whole time you're supposed to be there, or an accident happens. We've had people fall and hurt themselves and
Yes.
can't go out. That would kind of stink. But because we're so flexible and spontaneous, we just stayed another 2 weeks. We moved into a different place and stayed another 2 weeks in Paris so that we were able to actually go out and enjoy it.
Well, I am so glad we did too because that city is so beautiful and we wouldn't have done that video and watched that 13 miles.
Yeah.
I got to know the neighborhood we were staying in really well because it was my job to go out and get groceries and I
Yeah.
would just go out and wander around by myself and go to the pharmacy.
So what was that like being in Paris and doing that all by yourself while I laid in bed?
Well, it was fine. I mean, you know, people everywhere. We were in a safe neighborhood and people are friendly enough. And I don't speak French, but I have Google Translate. I tried to speak French. Let me rephrase that. But they always are like, just speak English.
Yeah.
And then the French tell me how bad their English is in perfect English.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry, my English is really bad. And I'm like, your English is perfect.
Yeah, your English is better than mine.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Anyway.
All right, so number 6, the place that felt like going home, even though we had never been there before, and for me, it was Vienna, Austria. That's where my great-grandfather was born, and I'm named after him. His name was Johann, which he changed to John, and that's where my dad's side of the family comes from. And flying in and just getting there, even in the airport when we first arrived, it just felt like I was home, which
Yeah.
was so weird. And part of that was that everybody there looked like my family and me. It was shocking. Like, they look just like my uncle. There's my dad. There's my aunt. I mean, it was amazing. Like, all the people there look like my family, that we have not moved that far away from Austria.
You know, it was fun to experience that with you because I can't relate to this. Obviously, I'm not from Austria, but JP kept saying that too. He's like, wow, this is really weird. He couldn't really put his finger on it, but he did actually feel like a connection to Vienna. And you did comment multiple times about how people look like you. Maybe that's why you felt more comfortable.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. The Europeans think it's really funny when Americans say we're going back home for the first time. They're like, it's not your home, you're American. You're not Austrian,
Right.
You're American. But I'm only the 3rd generation that was born in America. Like, countless generations were born in Austria. So really, it's very recent that we were in the U.S. And my great-grandparents took my great-grandpa to America. And I got to say, I mean, that's a big risk doing that, taking a ship to a new country.
It is impressive.
It's amazing. Like, Amelia's parents or ancestors did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I guess most of our ancestors, if you're American, we all kind of did that.
Yeah. So
At some point.
I don't think there's anything wrong with feeling like we're going back home because our ancestors chose to leave and, we're going back. Just because your ancestors stayed there doesn't mean that, we're any less. But I just feel like that my genes are there, and it really did feel like going home.
And also we had a fantastic time there too. I loved Vienna. That's another place I would love to go back to. And just Austria in general is really beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back. All right, number 5, an experience we didn't expect or plan for. That was the Sydney Opera House in Sydney, Australia.
Yes. Okay, this one completely caught off guard. So we went there on a short trip. This was a week. So we truly were fast traveling on our way to Bali. And JP told me he wanted to do a tour of the Sydney Opera House. And I was like, really? Okay. We're not big tour people, in case you guys didn't know. And I didn't think he liked opera at all, but it's an iconic building. And I was so impressed that I said to JP, it seems silly to be here and not go to the opera. So we did.
So we went and saw Madame Butterfly and that Pinkerton. and his shenanigans.
Yeah, so something that was completely unexpected, something I never, ever in a million years thought I'd be doing. I did go to the opera as a 12-year-old girl on a school field trip. It was not my favorite. I've never had a desire to go back, and I'm really glad we did that. That was super cool.
That was definitely a once in a lifetime thing.
Yes.
I definitely don't need to do that again, but I'm really glad we did. We were up in the nosebleed section, like a few rows from the top, but it was nice that they had an LED display above the stage with the translation, so we knew exactly what was going on. Otherwise, since it's in Italian, we wouldn't have understood it.
No, that was my issue as a
Well, and because
12-year-old.
it's being sung too,
Yes.
and like operatic voices, which I think if it was in English, I probably wouldn't understand a lot of that. But
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
I know we definitely. You go to Sydney Opera House, you get the A team. They don't put the B team up on the main stage of the Sydney Opera House. They were incredible.
They were.
The Pinkerton was played by a Mexican opera singer from Mexico, so that was cool.
It was.
Yeah. All right, number 4, the place that wowed us the most. This is a place that Amelia still talks about, Rome.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, geez, which one?
Every time somebody asks her, what was it like your best?
Right.
Oh, it's the Roman Forum.
The Roman Forum. I always say that. You're right.
Yeah.
The Roman Forum. And I still get chills just thinking about it. Another place I can't wait to go back to. I wish we would have had an entire day to spend exploring the Roman Forum. It was so cool.
Yeah, remember when we were walking around, because we stayed in a neighborhood called Appio Latino, which is a bit outside the historic center, and we were walking around one day, and we looked down the street, and there was the Colosseum.
Yes.
Like, we were just walking around, there it is. Like,
I
we
know.
weren't even expecting to see it. I'm like, oh my God, that's the Colosseum.
It's so amazing because there's just history everywhere. But then remember we went over to that huge park and wandered around, and then there was that giant, I think it's a flock of sheep.
She calls it a herd all the time. Herd of sheep. I think it's a flock of sheep.
There were a bunch of sheep.
Yeah. My favorite place was the Roman Baths of Caracalla.
That was also incredible, especially because we basically had the entire place to ourselves.
Yeah, I think there was a couple other couples in there, and the whole place was empty.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite places. But the Roman Forum is unbelievable.
It is. Highly recommend it.
All right, number 3, the Rewards of Spontaneity, and I'm going to say that's Dijon.
Okay.
Dijon.
It's like,
Dijon.
geez, which one? There's so many.
Because that's another place we hadn't planned on going to, but because we hadn't planned out our trips, and because our time in Paris got kind of messed up, then we decided kind of last minute to go to Dijon. We were thinking about either Lille or Strasbourg.
That's right. I remember because we were looking at all the different routes, and we decided, everybody kept saying we should go to Lyon. So we had a plan to go to Lyon, and Dijon was right there on the way. So it worked out perfectly. And we ended up staying there for a month.
Yeah. So that's another place where we had booked 2 weeks to stay, and we liked it so much, we just moved into another place and stayed another 2 weeks in a different part of town to really get a good feel for what it would be like to live there.
What a neat little city.
That felt really, really comfortable. It was so livable there.
Yes, I was extremely comfortable there. And I got to tell you, the mustard is unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you like mustard, you're going to love Dijon.
All right. Number 2, what we missed the most, and probably, I guess maybe underestimated or overestimated how much we needed it, underestimated how much we would miss it, and that is our friends and our adoptive family in Ecuador, and just having friends in general. The slow travel lifestyle can be kind of lonely, even when there's 2 of us. I can't imagine doing this by yourself, and we have several members in our travel club that do it by themselves.
Yes.
Well, and this is one of the reasons we created the club, was because after like a year and a half, we said we're kind of lonely and we really miss having like friends to do things with.
It can be a bit isolating at times, for sure. Because it is hard. It is hard to be separated from people. And when you're moving around and you're going to a new place, even if you do connect with people, like the people we know here in Albania, we stay in touch, but we haven't seen them for a year and a half.
Yeah, so we met up with one of our friends when we got back here.
Couple.
Oh yeah, a couple. But it was nice to do that. But yeah, it's hard when you're traveling full time to really maintain those connections.
It is hard. You're right. So the travel club is nice.
And that was what was so fun about going to Bangkok. And 2 of our members were there, Erica and Liz, and we hung out with them while we were there for that week. It was so cool to like have friends to go do things with and have new conversations and hear new stories. And then they found out that they lived not that far from each other and actually gone to the same restaurant in in the Northeast.
Yeah, it's a small world.
It is a small world. All right, number one, the place that made it all worth it. You know what I'm going to say.
I know. Can I say it?
Yes.
Siem Reap Angkor Wat. This one was mind-blowing for both of us.
Yeah, and we've been there twice now.
Yes.
So I'm really glad we went back with our travel club and experienced it for 2 weeks because we were only there for
Right.
4
4
days.
days, I think.
The first time we didn't expect to like Siem Reap as much as we did, and so we kind of just booked a quick trip between Bangkok and Vietnam and Phnom Penh.
Yep.
And so we went and saw Angkor Wat for 1 day, and it was not even remotely close to enough time.
No, we needed a lot more time. This time we got the 3-day pass. I think if we were going to live there, I would want to go like every week because there's so much to experience in that huge complex. And of course, there's other places you could go too. But like JP was saying, the city is a nice sized city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that it's so freaking hot there, you can live a really nice, comfortable life. We had a great time.
Yeah, I think it's 100 there today
Oh
and
my
humid.
goodness. Yes.
So I know, and the other thing is it's developed a lot just in the
has.
year, because it was a
Yeah.
year from the first time to the second time we were
Mhm.
there. It had changed a lot. They had a brand new grocery store that is huge. It could rival anything in the U.S. in terms
Yep.
of like quality and variety. And they even had Costco brands in there. I'm not exactly the Kirkland
The
brand.
Kirkland brand, I was shocked by that.
I know, but it's not affiliated. But it's huge and it's really nice. But they still have the little markets everywhere. You can get fresh produce and
The food is really good there. I love the food in
Yeah.
Cambodia. Same with Phnom Penh. It's funny that Cambodia is on this list twice.
I know. See it for the worst and the best.
Yes.
I know,
Yes.
it's amazing. It is. It was number 10 and number 1, and I think it deserves it because it is a bit of an adjustment. You're going to experience some culture shock, but once you get past that, it's magical.
It is a magical country.
Mhm.
It's definitely a place that we would consider long term.
Yeah, there are a lot of expats that live in Siem Reap
Mhm.
now, and in some of the other cities around in that northern
Yes.
area.
You just need to make an escape every once in a while to beat the heat. So you can go to like northern Vietnam for that. Or
Yeah,
Da Nang. Remember we went to Da Nang and how
yeah, it was in the 70s and
it's fabulous.
yeah, which was surprising because it was 90s in Siem Reap and then
Yes.
70s in Vietnam.
You can beat the heat.
All right, so I guess after 2.5 years, we've had some pretty incredible experiences that really changed how we see ourselves and the world, and some of them made us really uncomfortable, and
Yep.
some of them were just unbelievably mind-blowing.
Yeah, I don't regret a single thing, even when we were uncomfortable or you were sick or whatever. Everything's been amazing.
Yeah, it's just, I guess this lifestyle allows you to do all the things you never thought you would do or be able to
Yes.
do.
Yeah,
It really is life-changing.
it is life changing
Yeah.
for sure. I never dreamed in a million years I would be seeing all of these things and traveling around the world like this and actually able to live out of a suitcase. I'm
Yeah.
pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, although I think she's getting a little tired of that.
I'm a little tired of it.
Suitcase living is wearing thin, so we will see what that means to our future. But we definitely won't be going back to the U.S., but we may be settling someplace for longer periods of time.
Well, we had talked about doing
Yeah.
that anyway.
Yeah, so remember to sign up for the World Aware newsletter if you want more of this type of information in your inbox, and you can opt out at any time. But ameliaandjp.com/newsletter. All right, that's all we have for this video. Please leave us a like before you go, and we will see you all next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.